In design of slip ring induction motor is also called as wound induction motor. Okay. Then also design of slip ring induction motor is based on it requires high starting torque. That means it requires starting torque is very high. Okay. Then also in slip ring induction motor we have to control speed control techniques. Okay. Then also design of slip ring induction motor is depends on three-phase balance type star connected winding, and also this star connected winding is depends on number of rotor slot, number of rotor turns, then rotor winding and rotor. Okay, then first is number of rotor slot is very important, and also number of rotor slot will be depends on slot per pole per phase. That means 3-phase system and 4-pole system is very important in slip ring induction. Okay. Then also in number of rotor slot will be depends on multiple number of phases and pair of the poles. That means in which we have to need condition of north pole, south pole, then south pole and north pole. Okay. That means this depends on this condition, that is NS is attraction and NN means repulsion. Then NS is attraction and SS means repulsion. That means repulsion attraction condition is very important in design of slip ring induction motor. That means rotor slot is very important in design of slip ring induction motor. Okay. Then number of rotor turns. Second point is number of rotor turns is very important. Second point is number of rotor turns. Okay. Then number of rotor turns is depends on their turns. Okay. Then rotor of the slip ring induction motor. The rotor of the slip ring induction motor is act as a secondary winding of the transformer. That means number of rotor turns will be act as a secondary winding of the transformer. Then it gives maximum voltage between slip ring and rotor. That means rotor is at standstill position. It gives maximum voltage, and this maximum voltage is very important in slip ring induction motor. Now these are the several symbols using to find out the formula for number of rotor turns. Then ES means stator voltage per phase. Then ER means rotor voltage per phase at standstill position. Okay, that means symbol of ER. Then TS means number of stator turns per phase. Then TR means number of rotor turns per phase. That means this S indicates for stator and R indicates for rotor. Okay. Then KWS, that means winding factor of the stator, and KWT means rotor winding factor. That means this symbol is very important to find out the solution of rotor turns. Okay. Then this is the transformation ratio with respect to stator and rotor. Then ER upon ES is equal to KWT upon KWS into TR upon TS. Then rearrange equation for TR is equal to ER upon ES into KWS upon KWT into TS. That means this is the formula for number of rotor turns of the slip ring induction motor. Okay. Then also next point is rotor winding. Then rotor winding also using small motor, and in small motor we have to use mesh type winding. Okay. Yesterday I have sent mesh winding design in Google Classroom. Okay. That means mesh winding is very important, and this mesh winding using small motors. Then second is large motor. In large motor we have to use double layer winding. Okay. And this is the semi enclosed slot. That means large motors in which we have to use double layer winding. Okay. Then third point is rotor teeth. Then in rotor teeth, in which we have to need flux density, because the flux density does not increase 1.7 Weber per meter. that means rotor teeth will be damaged. Okay, then this is the formula for rotor teeth. Okay, then width of rotor teeth, WTR means width of rotor teeth is equal to 5 upon 1.7 into SR upon P into Li. Then SR means number of bars used in rotor teeth, then P means number of poles, then Li, that means net iron length. These are the symbols for this formula. Okay, now this formula is very important to find out rotor teeth width. Okay, this is the important type of the rotor winding. Okay, then rotor core is very important because this formula is standard formula and this formula is directly accessed in standard design parameter. Okay, now there is no expression for this formula. These are the constant formula. These are not in your syllabus, not need any explanation because these are the standard formula. These are the constant formula. This constant formula is directly used in your problem. Okay, now there is no need for the expression because in all parameters in unit number 5 and unit number 6 because large amount of formulas and this formula is calculated with the help of different techniques. Okay, and their expression is 4-5 pages. Okay, then in which we have to take only formulas and their notifications. Okay, and also in as university says only we have to need only standard formulas, not their expression because their expression is very large because in reference book large amount of expressions are available but these expressions are very big and very sensitive. There is no need for universal syllabus. Then in which we have to need only just overview of the design of the three-phase induction motor and their parameters. Okay, then fourth parameter is rotor core. Okay, now this is the formula for rotor core, then in which we have to calculate depth of the rotor core. Then depth of the rotor core is equal to flux in rotor core upon flux density in rotor core into net iron length. Then flux in rotor core, that means in which the induction motor it consists of stator and rotor, and also in which we have to calculate gap, air gap, and this air gap divided into two sections. That means we have considered this is the stator. Okay, and this is the rotor. That means this is the stator and this is the rotor and this is the axis point. Okay, then in which present large amount of maximum flux. Okay, phi. Okay, and this phi is divided into stator and rotor. Then this is the rotor. We have considered half section, that is half phi. Okay, and stator we have also considered 1/2 phi. Then take addition both, that is 2 phi upon 2. Okay, then 2 to get cancel, then obtain phi. Okay, but in which we have to calculate only rotor. Then we have taken only half section. That means we have taken only this section, that is phi upon 2. That means we have taken this value, is phi upon 2. Then flux density in rotor core into Li. That means Li means net iron length. Okay, then this is the formula for depth of rotor core is equal to phi upon 2 into BCR into Li. Then BCR means rotor core flux density and range is 1.2 to 1.4 Weber per meter square. Okay, now this is the important part in rotor winding. It is called as rotor core. Okay, then and this is the last point in unit number 5, that is unbalanced magnetic pull condition. In unbalanced magnetic pull condition, we have to calculate their all parameters which is required for magnetic pull condition and their symptoms. Okay, then in induction motor it consists of stator and rotor, and stator and rotor will be both depends on rotating magnetic field, and at that instant opposite poles are formed in stator and rotor. Okay, then also in stator and rotor, force of attraction take place at that instant in which this force of attraction in radial direction. Okay, and this force is perpendicular to the shaft axis. Okay, then also in which all the forces are present in stator and rotor, and these two forces are balanced, that is axial forces and radial forces. These two forces are balanced in induction motor is called as magnetic pull condition, and these all forces are yet not balanced. This is called as unbalanced magnetic pull condition. That means in stator and rotor, balance condition is very important, and this balance condition will depends on forces. Okay. Then also in magnetic pull condition, we have to calculate their all parameters. Okay. Now these are the notifications or symbols using unbalanced magnetic pull condition. Okay. Then in unbalanced magnetic pull condition, F indicates for force between two poles. Then B indicates flux density in air gap Weber per meter square. Then A is called as area of each pole measured in meter square. Then ATG, that means mmf per pole in air gap. Then length of air gap measured in meter. Then capital D, that is stator bore diameter. M and L is axial length of core. Okay. Then also in unbalanced magnetic pull condition, we have to need radial magnetic forces, and these radial magnetic forces classified into two types, that is DC machine and AC machine. Okay, the first type is DC machine. Then in DC machine we have considered two pole machine. Okay, that means only two poles, north and south. Then in which rotor will be depends on uniform length of air gap. At that instant we have to need tangential force, and this tangential force acting on the rotor. That means consider two pole machine, and in which rotor will depends on uniform length of air gap, and also in which tangential force acting. That means, okay, this is the first pole and this is second pole. Okay, that is these are the north pole, these are the south pole. Only two pole machine. That means these are the two poles, and also this is the uniform length of air gap. That means this is the uniform length of air gap. Okay. Then also tangential and perpendicular. That means these are the two forces is perpendicular. Means these are the perpendicular forces. That means 90 degree angle. Okay. That means tangential forces. That means both forces will be acts on. For example, this is a tangential force. This is a tangential. That means both are attract to each other in two pole machine, because in which we have considered only two poles. Okay. Now this is the concept of DC machine depends on tangential force, because we have select only two poles, or we have consider only two poles. Okay. Then second part is AC machine, but in which we have to calculate expression for DC machine. Okay. Then in DC machine, magnetic force of attraction take place between stator and rotor pole, and also their direction will be perpendicular to the rotor shaft axis, because force of attraction take place between stator and rotor. Okay. Now at that instant, the force will be occur in stator and rotor is equal to F1 is equal to 1 upon 2 V square upon mu 0 into A. Then this is the formula for force of attraction between stator and rotor poles. Then V is equal to mu 0 A into Tg upon Lg. Lg means length of air gap. Okay. Then this value of the V put in this equation. Okay. Then F1 is equal to 1 upon 2 mu 0 square, because V square value is put here. Okay. Then mu 0 square into A square into Tg square upon Lg square into mu 0. Then mu 0 mu 0 get cancelled. Then F1 is equal to 1 upon 2 into mu 0 into A into Tg upon Lg whole bracket square into A. This is called as equation number 3. Okay. Then A indicates area of hole. Okay. Then the formula for area of hole. A is equal to pi dl upon E. D means stator bore diameter. L means length of stator bore. Okay. At that instant, we have to calculate mm required for stator and rotor. Okay. Then, in which we have to calculate mm. Okay. Then, it measure in ampere turns. Then, is equal to AT is equal to ampere turns in iron loss plus ampere turns in gap. Okay. That means ATG means mm in gap, and also in which we have to calculate ampere turns in iron loss. Okay. Then also in which iron loss will be considered, iron loss will be considered 0. Then mm in iron loss is 0. That means we are neglected. Okay. Then also AT is equal to obtain ATG, and this value of the AT will be put is equal to ATG. That means this is the ATG, and then put value of is ampere turn. Then F1 is equal to 1 by 2 mu 0 into ampere turn upon Lg whole bracket square into A. That means in which we have to consider only force of attraction with respect to only gap. That means this is the stator. Okay. This is the rotor. Okay. For example. Then in which we have to calculate only ampere turns in only gap, because we have not considered MF in loss. Okay, then in which we have calculate only ATG, and then put AT is equal to this value put in this equation. That means put AT, then calculate only force of attraction between stator and rotor in air gap. Okay, not calculate in when losses occur due to iron. Then in which only calculate ampere turns in only air gap. Okay, now this is the concept of DC machine, in which we have to calculate force of attraction between two poles, that is stator and rotor. Okay. Then next expression is, okay, then this is a calculate formula, and this also same for, okay, now this is the stator and rotor. Then we have considered force is F4. Okay, and we have considered force is F. Then also in which only we have considered two poles and two forces, and this when two forces are equal, then magnetic pull condition occur, and these two forces are not equal, then unbalanced magnetic pull condition. Then we have calculate F1. Then also same formula for F. It is 1 by 2 into mu 0 AT square upon Lg into A. Then this is the value of A. Okay. Now this is the symmetrical magnetic pull condition, and this is the unsymmetrical magnetic pull condition. That means in stator and rotor, forces are not equal. Okay. In forces are not equal, that is F1 is not equal to F2. This is called as unsymmetrical magnetic pull condition. Then forces F1 is equal to F2. Then both forces are equal is called as symmetrical magnetic pull condition. In a symmetrical magnetic pull condition is nearly equal to 0, but an unsymmetrical magnetic pull condition is not equal to 0. That means in this case we have observed that the forces are equal, that is F1 and F2. These two forces are equal in this type of machine, and it acts as a opposite direction. That means these two forces, that is F1 force, this F1 force and F2 force are in opposite direction, but their resultant is 0. That means resultant force is zero is called as symmetrical magnetic pull condition. Okay. Then in unsymmetrical, the forces F1 and F2 are not equal, and there does it act as a opposite direction, but their resultant force is not equal to 0. Then this type of force is called as unsymmetrical magnetic pull. That means unsymmetrical and symmetrical magnetic pull condition will be depends on forces acting on stator and rotor, and also in which we have to need to concept of resultant force. That means resultant force is equal to 0. That is called as symmetrical magnetic pull condition. And resultant force is not equal to 0. Then this type of condition is called as unsymmetrical pull condition. Now this is the exact difference between symmetrical and unsymmetrical magnetic pull condition. In these two conditions will be depends on force of attraction between them, but in which the forces always act in opposite direction. Also, it consists of motor consists of stator and rotor, and also in which we have to need to their length of gap. Length of gap between stator and rotor is very important. In symmetrical machine, length of gap, that means this is the length of gap I have on top, this is the bottom, and these both are equal, but this is the LG1, this is the LG2 is not equal, because rotor move in normally outside the stator, that means merely move due to vibrations. Okay, then because forces are not equal, okay, that means LG1, that means length of ear gap, that is LG1 is not equal to LG2 in unsymmetrical magnetic pull condition. For example, this is the LG1, this is the LG2. Both are equal, that is in symmetrical pull condition. That is LG1 is equal to LG2. Okay, now this is the condition of length of air gap in symmetrical machine and unsymmetrical machine, and both are depends on unmagnetic and magnetic. Okay, then also in which we have to need their importance parameter. Okay, okay, now this is the concept of DC machine. Okay, now we have to explain concept of AC machine. Okay, then also same procedure follow for AC machine as compared to DC machine, and also in AC machine flux density distribution is not uniform. Now in which we have to need angle between stator and rotor, and also in which we have to consider element angle. This is called as d theta. Then also in AC machine flux density always present, and the flux density in element angle, that is B is equal to Bm sin theta. Now this is the formula for flux density in element angle, that is B is equal to Bm sin theta. Okay, then also in which we have to calculate radial forces. Now in which we have to calculate radial forces. Now radial forces acting on the string or acting on AC machine. Okay, now consider any type of example. We have considered string. Okay, then radial forces is equal to, formula is 1 by 2 Bm sin square theta upon mu 0 into dl upon 2 into d theta. Now this is the radial forces acting. Then 1 by 4 into Bm square dl into sin square theta d theta. Okay, now in which we have to calculate vertical components. Okay, now I think here mu 0 is missing. This is the mu 0 is ratio. Okay, this denominator is mu 0 is missing. Okay, then vertical component of the above forces we have calculated. Then in which, for example, this is x-axis and this is the force. Okay, now this is the cos theta. Okay, This is the sine theta. Okay. Then in which vertical component of the force? Now this is the radial force, that means horizontal forces. We have calculate vertical component, that is perpendicular component. Then vertical component, that means this vertical component is perpendicular to the sine theta. Okay, then multiplied by sine theta. That means this vertical component is perpendicular to the sine theta. Okay, then 1 upon 4 into mu 0 Vm square into dl into sine square theta into d theta, because we have calculate vertical component. That means we have calculate vertical component, that is cos theta. This cos theta is perpendicular to the sine theta. Then we have multiplied by vertical component into sine theta. Then vertical component is equal to 1 upon 4 into mu 0 into Vm square into dl into sine cube theta. Then sine square sine cube theta into d theta. Okay. Then we have calculate resultant magnetic pull condition. Okay. That means we have to calculate force, resultant force occur in magnetic pull condition. Okay. Then this all parameter is constant. Okay. Now taken outside the integration. Okay. That is 1 upon 4 pi 0 Vm square into dl 0 to pi sine cube theta into d theta. Okay. Now this is the resultant force depends on magnetic pull condition. That means magnetic pull condition means in which we have to calculate forces. This in which balance magnetic field get balance in, this is called as magnetic pull condition. Then we have calculate resultant forces in magnetic pull condition. Okay. Then also okay. Then F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi Vm square into dl 0 to pi sine cube theta into d theta. Okay, now this is the, we have considered 0 to pi, then we have considered 0 to 2 pi condition. Okay, then F is equal to Vm square 4 into mu 0 into dl. And this is the 0 to pi sine cube theta. Now this is the resultant force, and this resultant force is opposite to this force. That means we have considered this is the F1 force, this is considered F2 force. That means F2 force is opposite direction to the F. That means both are in opposite direction. And this F1 occur in 0 to pi condition. This F2 occur in 0 to pi condition. Okay, now this is the two forces occur in AC machine. Okay, then also this is the basic formula of the force of attraction between stator and rotor force. That means F1 is equal to 1 upon 2 into V1 square upon mu 0. Okay, then F2 is equal to 1 upon 2 V square 2 upon mu 0 into A. Now this is the formula for F1 and this is the formula for F2 in AC machine. Okay, now in unbalanced magnetic pull condition, first we have to need magnetic pull condition and unbalanced magnetic pull condition. Okay, then also in which we have to need concept of DC machine and AC machine. Okay, then in also in DC machine we have to calculate force of attraction is F1 and F2. Also in AC machine we have to calculate force of attraction, that is F1 and F2. In AC machine, length of air gap, that means this Lg1 is greater than Lg2. And also this force F2 is greater than F2. These two condition is very important in AC machine. Okay. That means length of air gap Lg1 is greater than Lg2, and F2, that means force of attraction from downward side F2 is greater than upward side force is F. That is F2 is greater than F. Now this is the concept of magnetic and unmagnetic pull condition in AC machine and DC machine. Okay. Then next point is causes of unmagnetic pull condition, in which first causes is unequal air gap, then manufacturing tolerance, then poor quality of the machine, then wear of the bearings, then asymmetry in magnetic circuit, then asymmetry in winding and poor maintenance. These are the several causes occur in unbalanced magnetic condition. Then we have to need assumptions. Then in unbalanced magnetic pull condition, air gap and value of the flux density is uniform. That means same. That means the value of length of air gap and flux density is uniform. Okay. Then also in stator and rotor, in which displacement is parallel. That means stator is always parallel to the rotor, and in which small amount of air gap is present. Okay. At that instant, displacement is very important in rotor, because rotor is always moving in surrounding of the stator. Okay. Then also in which machine will be depends on flux density. That means ratio of the maximum flux density, and in which the maximum flux density remains same. Okay. Now this is the several assumptions is very important in induction motor. Okay. Now this is the unbalanced magnetic pull condition. Okay. Now this is the overview of the unbalanced magnetic pull condition. Okay.